सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Let us chant from the 12th verse. यदादित्यगतं तेजः जगद्भासयतेऽखिलम् यच्चन्द्रमसि यच्चाग्नौ तत्तेजो विद्धि मामकम्। गामाविश्य च भूतानि धारयाम्यहमोजसा पुष्णामि चौषधीः सर्वाः सोमो भूत्वा रसात्मकः। अहं वैश्वानरो भूत्वा प्राणिनां देहमाश्रितः प्राणापानसमायुक्तः पचाम्यन्नं चतुर्विधम् सर्वस्य चाहं हृदि सन्निविष्टः मत्तस्मृतिर्ज्ञानमपोहनं च वेदैश्च सर्वैरहमेव वेद्यः वेदान्तकृद्वेदविदेव चाहम्। In these 4 verses, Lord Krishna described his glories. Vibhuti Sankshepaha, in brief. His Vibhuti, his glory as to how he is Sarvatmakaha, he is the self of all, he is all pervasive. Sarva Vyavahara Aspadaha, how he is the very basis of all the Vyavahara, all the activities that take place anywhere is because of him. And how he is the self of all. He is the one that performs all the activities, and because of him, all activities are possible. Also, it's interesting how in description of his glories, first he said, Yadadityagadam tejah jagad bhasayate akhilam. Here Arjuna, this tejas of the light, which is in the sun and the moon and the fire, that illumines the whole world, that light is mine, my light, or I am that light. So by light, that I am the very consciousness. I am the chit of the consciousness which illumines the whole universe through sun, moon and fire. So consciousness itself cannot illumine anything directly. Just as electricity itself directly cannot dispel the darkness of this room, only when electricity gets manifest through a bulb in the form of light, then alone it can dispel the darkness. Similarly also, Chaitanyam or awareness cannot directly illuminate anything, only when it manifests through upadhi, like electricity manifesting through a bulb. So also the Lord, the consciousness, Chaitanyam, manifesting through sun, moon, fire, then he illumines his whole world. Or at the individual level, through the eyes, ears, the faculty organs of perception, that he can illumine this world. So that is the chit or the consciousness. Then it says, Gama Vishyacha Bhutani Dharayamyaham. Entering the earth, I sustain all the beings. So he also declares himself the one who sustains everything. One, because of whom sustenance is possible, existence is possible. So thus he declares, I am that very Sat, or the very existence, because of which all the beings are sustained. And Pushnami Chaushadhi Sarvaha Somo Bhutva Rasatmakaha. And I am the one that actually provides nourishment. I nourish all the plants and vegetables. So I am the nourisher of everything. I am the sap of everything. I am the rasa of everything. I am the one that is enjoyed by people. I am of the nature of ananda or happiness. So by saying that I am the one that illumines the whole universe through the luminaries, I am Chit or the consciousness, Sat Chit. That I am the one that sustains the whole universe, I am Sat or the existence. And that I nourish everything in terms of as plants and vegetables and thus become the cause of happiness of the creatures, I am the Ananda. So Sat. So how Satchidananda is the nature of the Lord, how the Sat, the existence, manifests as sustaining everything in the universe, how the Chit becomes manifest as illuminating the whole universe, how Ananda becomes manifest as giving pleasure to all the creatures. So thus we say that this whole universe is nothing but a manifestation of Satchit Ananda, which is the Lord. I am the Bhokta, I am the Bhojyam. As a Vaishvanara, as a digestive fire in the stomach of all the living beings, I am the Bhokta, I am the eater. As Soma, so Agni is the eater. As Soma, the moon of the nature of the sap, that I am all the plants and vegetables, I am the Bhojyam, I am that which is eaten. The eater also I am, the eaten also I am. The subject also I am, the object also I am. And therefore this whole universe of the nature of Bhokta and the Bhojya is again nothing but my manifestation. Thus I manifest as a fire, that becomes the eater. I manifest as a moon or a Soma, that becomes the eaten. And that's all the whole universe is, eater and eaten. Bhokta and Bhojya, that's all there is. Subject and object, I and everything else. So Bhokta and the Bhojya, that is the nature of the whole universe. Again, that is my manifestation. Of course, all the vibhutis of the glories are what we call the Saguna Brahma or Supadika Brahma. God with Upadi, God with the Maya as the Upadi. And so we say how in the verses beginning from 7 to 11, in those verses, Lord Krishna described the Tvampada. That is, the Jiva was described. In the verses from this 12 to 15, Lord Krishna described the Tatpada, the Ishvara. So these are what we call the Vachyartha. Vachyartha means the commonly understood meanings of the word Tvat, Tat and Tvam. So what we understand by Tvam or the Jiva, that was described, and what we understand by Tat or Ishvara, that is described. Now the Vakyartha. Vakyartha is the meaning of the statement Tattvamasi, where of course Tat or Ishvara and Tvam Jiva are declared to be identical. Not at the level of Upadhi. When you say that I am Ishvara, I am God, nobody should mistake that I to be Jiva is being God. Of course, so if by God we understand that God is omniscient, omnipotent, creator, sustainer, dissolver, that God I am not, never. And if I take myself to be a Jiva or an individual being, then certainly I am not God. But whatever it is, that is the essence of the God. As we said, it is Satchit Ananda. That Satchit Ananda's play alone is the whole universe, and therefore, if we ultimately look at anything, if we investigate, even in a scientific way, everything will reduce itself to Asti, Bhati, Priyam, Sat, Chit, Ananda. So that is the essence of the whole vast universe. So this vastness and everything that we perceive, that's nothing but manifestation of Lord. But the essence of all of that is nothing but Asti, Bhati, Priyam, Sat, Chit, Ananda. And this little insignificant creature, which is what we call the Jiva, what is the essence of this Jiva? Even though I am small and little in every way, in my knowledge, in my ability, in my power, in every way I am limited. And still, what it is that is truth about me? Asti, Bhati, Priyam. What is the truth of a wave is also the truth of the whole ocean, the truth being water. I am like a wave, but the truth is water. Asti, Bhati, Priyam. Ishvara is the whole ocean, manifested the whole universe, inclusive of all the names and forms, all the waves. But there also, the essence is Asti, Bhati, Priyam. It is in that essence that the wave and the ocean are identical. Not that the wave is ocean, but wave is water. Ocean also is water. In that sense, we can say, so understand this very well. When Vedantins keep on saying, I am God, don't misunderstand. That he can now create the world or, no way at all. That he has become omniscient and he knows everything. No such thing. That is not what Vedanta is shooting for, although that is what the other people shoot for. The Jains and the Buddhas, that's what they shoot for. So Jain Tirthankar is supposed to be a perfect man who is all-knowing, omniscient, in a primary sense. And that's the reason why tremendous penance they perform for I don't know how many lifetimes, that the Tirthankara becomes omniscient, all-knowing, Trikalagnaha. He knows everything in all the 3 periods of time. This is their understanding of what moksha is, and this is understanding of Buddha also. That Gautam Buddha is looked upon as the one who is omniscient in a primary sense. So that is called enlightenment when you know everything. Vedantis are not hung up with omniscience. We don't care to know everything. As somebody asked a Swami, Swamiji, do you know what's going on in my mind? He says, there is enough problem with my mind. Why should I worry about what's going on in your mind? And so, that kind of a thing, that is also some kind of a fascination to know everything. It is not possible for a mind to know, but suppose it is possible, then also so what? Because if I seek to derive satisfaction from the achievements at the level of upadhi, understand that omniscience, that I become all-knowing, that also is an achievement at the level of upadhi. Because that kind of knowledge is the nature of the mind. And somehow I expand my mind in such a way, by whatever process, that it becomes all-knowing. Even then, it remains an achievement at the level of upadhi. And therefore, that is not, we don't need that. What the achievement we need at the level of mind is that the mind should expand, become universal, not in terms of knowledge, in terms of accommodation. Yes. That I become so accommodative, that's what we call the preparation, the preparedness, accommodation. That everything is fine. Adveshta sarabhutanam, the wise person is the one who does not hate anybody, even if somebody hates him. So that is a great achievement, that in my mind, the reaction of hatred does not arise even if I am confronted with a person who hates me. Maitraha, that the friendliness still remains. Karunaha, that compassion still remains. Now this is the siddhi of the accomplishment that Lord Krishna talks about in the Bhagavad Gītā, and that's the accomplishment that the Vedantins want. And that is possible by me. That thing I don't know. Whether I can become omniscient, God alone knows. But this one is definitely possible. And then I know that happiness or really fulfillment that I am seeking is myself. It is not at the level of upadhi, at the level of body or the mind that I have become infinite. That I am infinite already at the level of the self that I am. So that is where the identity is. So now in the next 3 verses, Lord Krishna reveals what we call the Vakyartha, the identity obtaining between Jiva and Ishvara as the very consciousness, as very Asti, Bhati, Priyam, Sat Chit Ananda. And that is the process of what we call Neti Neti. The famous process, the famous method of the unfoldment by the Upanishads, Neti Neti. Athado Adeshaha Neti Neti. Now here is the instruction, not this, not this. By negating everything. What is to be negated? Negating is upadhi. This body-mind complex. What do you mean by negating? What do I do with it? How do I get rid of it? It says, no, negation only means becoming free from the identification. That's all. Negation also is not a process. Negation also is a process of knowing. At every point in Vedanta, there is nothing but knowledge. There is no action involved anywhere. Even when we talk about cultivating the sadhana, chatushtaya sampatti, viveka, vairagya, samadhi shatka sampatti, there also, ideally no action is involved. All that we need to do is viveka, that's all, understanding. It is by understanding that we can cultivate understanding, not only by understanding that we can get the knowledge, it is by understanding that we get all the qualifications, daivi sampatti also, in as much as. It is because of the misunderstanding or because of the wrong notions that all what we call the demoniac tendencies are managed to come in. So it is all the way praptasya praptihi, accomplishment of what is already there. Not only that I am Brahman, but even that pure mind, that also is my nature. And whatever impurities obtain in my mind, they are also agantuka, they are also simply intruders and not really the inherent nature of the mind. So all along in Vedanta there is process of negation, negating that which is false, asserting that which is right. Simple. What do you mean negating what is false? Knowing the false as false is called negation. Nothing else is to be done. Not that I hate what is false, I enjoy. Mithya is to be enjoyed. Provided I know it is mithya. If the mithya or unreal is taken to be real, then it's a tremendous, source of all the problems. And when mithya is known as mithya, it becomes source of all entertainment. So here is negation. Negating the upadhi. In one stroke, Lord Krishna negates the upadhi. Upadhi means identification upadhi. That is, do not judge myself from the level of upadhi, nor do I judge Ishvara from the level of upadhi. That's all. That is what is meant. Today, all the time, I am judging myself. I am equating myself to my body, equating myself to my mind, equating myself to the upadhi. Not doing that. And similarly, I equate Ishvara also from the standpoint of the body and the mind. His body and mind. The whole cosmos is his body. If this is my body, the whole cosmos becomes the body of Ishvara. If this is my mind, then the cosmic mind becomes his mind. If this is my power in my arms, a power in all the arms becomes his power. And that is how I always judge Ishvara also. Whenever the word Ishvara or God is used, it always brings into my mind that entity which is all-pervasive, omniscient, omnipotent, and so forth. Not that it is wrong, but that also is my evaluation from the standpoint of upadhi. But what is Ishvara even without the upadhi? Is he Ishvara or Lord just because he is omniscient and omnipotent, and suppose he was not there, would he cease to be Lord? Or if this body mind was not there, would I cease to exist? No. It is not that I exist because body is. That's my idea today. That if this body dies, I die. If the body dies, I cease to exist. This is what I believe. And that's the reason why I am so afraid of death. And will the greatness of God also be compromised or sacrificed if He is not omniscient, omnipotent? No. Omniscience, omnipotent, all of this is because of Him. He is God not because of omniscience. Omniscience is because of Him. And so, He is the one that is even above this. This is what we call transcending this. Like a crystal that transcends the colors. So crystals appear to be colored depending on what kind of flower or cloth we place beside the crystal, but itself is always free from it. Similarly also, God or Lord in the ultimate truth is even free from the ideas of omniscience, omnipotent. And so also the self is free from the ideas of smallness. And when these ideas which arise from evaluating them from the standpoint of upadhi, when these ideas are dropped, then we realize that what were thought to be two is in fact one alone. And this is the message of Bhagavad Gītā. So Shankaracharya says here, what is stated in the next 3 words is what is stated in the whole Gītā Shastra. And what is stated in Gītā Shastra is the message of all the Vedas. So this, in these next 3 verses, Lord Krishna tells us the essence of the whole teaching. Says in this 16th verse, Dvavimau purushau loke, Dvavimau purushau loke, Ksharascha evacha, Ksharascha evacha, Ksharas sarvani bhutani, Ksharas sarvani bhutani, Kūtastho kshara uchyate, Kūtastho kshara uchyate, Uttamah purushastvanyah, Uttamah purushastvanyah, Paramatmeti udahrutah, Paramatmeti udahrutah, Yo lokatrayamavishya, Yo lokatrayamavishya, Vibhartya vyaya ishvaraha, Vibhartya vyaya ishvaraha. Dvau imau purushau loke. These two. Purusha persons, there are loke in the world. Lord Krishna says, in the world, there are these two Purushas, these two persons. Purusha and Prakriti. Person and personality. Spirit and matter. Self and non-self. This is a broad classification we have. So Lord Krishna now wants to unfold the nature of the self. And he wants to show how the self or the consciousness or God or Brahman is that which transcends upadhi, bigness and smallness. So bigness and vastness also is the level of upadhi, at the level of the body. Smallness also is at the level of upadhi. Only when one becomes free from the idea of bigness as well as smallness. Therefore this upadhi here is now sort of categorized by Lord Krishna as consisting of two things, kshara and akshara. So kshara means mutable, akshara means immutable. Ksharati iti ksharaha, that which is subject to mutation is called ksharaha. Na ksharati iti aksharaha, that which is not subject to mutation is called aksharaha. Immutable, imperishable, changeless. And when we say imperishable, immutable, changeless, it means that it transcends this idea of mutation and change and perishability. That means the mutation cannot touch it. The idea is that not only it is immutable by nature, but now nobody can make it mutable. See, sometimes what happens is the Ganges water is pure by its nature, but if you throw some impure things in that, suppose you have a Ganges water in a cup which is pure. We throw some impurity in there, it becomes impure. So itself is pure, but can be made impure by something else. But here, he is pure and cannot be made impure by anybody. That's important. And that is so important. Lord Shiva is pure, embodiment of purity. And all impurities are there on his body. All impurities. Amangalyam Shilam Tava Bhavatu Nama Ivam Akhilam. Lord, what is this? Your Shilam, if you look at your conduct, it is all inauspicious. Smashana Ishvakrida, your playground is Smashana, is a cremation ground, that is your residence, that's where you dwell. Smarahara Pishachas Sahacharaha, and who are your companions? All the ghosts and goblins, they are our companions. Chita Bhasma Lepaha, and what kind of ornamentation you have? Well, then you are smeared on his body, on your body, Chita Bhasma, the ash is coming from funeral fire. That's the ashes he gets. Sragavindra Karoti Parikaraha, and what wonderful garland you have made of the skulls. Amangalyam Shilam, none of these things we would even want to think about, let alone not even look at it. Question of touching does not even arise. You will do some prayaschitta karma, Or at least we take bath if nothing else, and then if you touch any of these things, you may want to take bath even if you see these things. And all of these Lord Shiva wears on his body. Amangalyam, all inauspicious things. Do these things make him inauspicious? No. Tathapi smartrunam varda paramam mangalamasi. But even then, O Lord, those who know you, for them, you are the most auspicious. So Lord Shiva is a very beautiful presentation of Atma, the self, which is embodiment of purity, asangatvam, unattachment, purity, silence, tranquility, joy, knowledge, enlightenment, everything. That's what Lord Shiva stands for. And all that is on his body stands for the upadhi. Upadhi means the vesha, means the dress. And there are both. He is in fact the abode or the adhishtanam, substratum, all the pairs of opposites. All the inauspicious things we just described, and he also is the substratum or the locus for all the auspicious things. Look at the Ganges emerging from the matter law, most pure. Look at the moon that also showers nectar. And so he is also that way the abode of what is pure and auspicious. So these represents what we call the dvandva, the pairs of opposites. So he is the locus of or the adhishtanam, substratum for all the dvandva, all the pairs of opposites. himself is free from both of them. While supporting them, he remains free from them. And so, asaktam sarabhrutyeva nirgunam ganabhoktucha, says Bhagavad Gītā, 13th chapter. Asaktam sarabhrutyeva. Even though asakta means unconnected. Sarabhrutyeva, still sustaining everything. While supporting everything, he remains untouched, unconnected to everything. This recognition is called negation of upadhi, that's all. We should know upadhi is upadhi, then we will know the adhishtanam, substratum, the substratum. So, this whole universe becomes a upadhi, becomes a vesha, becomes a dress, becomes a manifestation of the Lord. And that is divided into two broad categories. Dvau imau purusho loke ksharascha aksharascha vacha. Here Arjuna, these are these two purushas, kshara and akshara. Kshara the mutable, akshara the immutable. Lord Krishna himself explains what is kshara and what is akshara. Kshara sarvani bhutani. All these bhutani, all the beings, bhuta also means element. There are 5 elements of which the whole universe is made. So this whole universe which is made up of 5 elements. Universe consisting of sentient and insentient, which is produced from or created from the 5 elements. Ksharaha, that is all, that is what we experience. The whole universe that is an object of our experience is ksharaha, is categorized as mutable. Lord Krishna says, I am everything. That is why this is called Purusha. Purusha means person, means a consciousness. Purusha also means one who is complete. So Lord Krishna says, this is the twofold manifestation of mine. One is my manifestation, this is what we call kshara or the mutable. So understand that whatever is mutable, made up of the 5 elements, whatever is changing, whatever is perishable, also is the expression of his expression. That is called Ksharaf Purushaha. He is the Purusha means the person, means the consciousness manifesting as this mutable creation. Kutastho Kshara Uchyate. The other is Kutastha Aksharaha. Kutastha. Akshara is immutable and Kutastha also is immutable. But the Kutastha is Maya. Kuta, so Kutastha. So Kutavat Tishtade or Kutena Sthitaha Kutastha. Word Kutastha is explained differently. Kuta. This Kuta is a word that is used in our regional languages also. Kuta Sakshi. Kuta means Vanchana, Jihmata, Kutilata, deception, falsehood, crookedness. This is what Kuta. And so a person who is crooked, who is deceptive, who is false, is called Kuta. Kuta Sakshi means the false witness. And Kutasthaha, Kuta Rupena Sthitaha. So one that obtains as Kuta, the one that obtains as deceptive, as false, as crooked, that is called Maya. And so why is Maya called like that? Because what is inside is something and what is shown outside is something else. That's what Maya does. So in our Vyavahar also we call it Maya when a person has something else in his own mind and he says or expresses something else outside. Inside he hates you. Inside he is ready with his gun and he comes and smiles at you and shakes hands with you. Moment you become, that alright, you feel that you are safe, he produces gun. This is a typical example of Maya. That is what the whole universe appears to be giving me the joy and the security which it doesn't have. It is actually a kalpana or imagination or projection and appears to be so real, so tangible. And therefore, here the word Kutastha is used in the sense of Maya. Understand that Kutastha is used in the sense of Atma also. Usually the word Kutastha is used in the sense of Atma, the self, but then it is explained, Kuta also means a heap. A heap. And so Anna Kuta means a heap of Anna, a heap of food, heap of rice. That's what is offered to Lord Krishna on the New Year day, or on a given day. So kutavat tishtati, that which remains like a heap. That's also sometimes, but that is God. When kuta is explained as heap or non-changing, then kutastha means God. But here when kuta is explained as maya or vanchana or jihmata, then kutastha means maya. Kutastha, this maya, jagat karanam, that which is the cause of this whole universe. So, aneka samsari jantu kama karmadi samskarashraya. In that maya, in that fundamental deception, right there the deception begins. So kamayata, people ask this question, why did God create this? Why should He create this world? But they say, in that very process of creation itself there is maya. So maya creates a deception and shows one God as many. What is unreal is shown as real. So that is maya is called Jagat Karam, the primordial cause. That's a tremendous power. Power of cheating is a tremendous power, and so that's power by which the whole universe. So in the base of it, in the root of it, this is deception there. That's the reason why the poor scientist can never get a hang of what it is. But anyway, maya is the cause, the primordial cause. Kutastaha aksharaha uchyate. The aksharaha, the immutable person. Lord Krishna says, my immutable expression is maya. The cause, the mutable expression is the kshara, the effect. Understand? Cause and effect. Generally, cause can be said to be immutable with reference to effect. Here the pot is the effect and clay is the cause. And so, with reference to the effect, namely pot, the cause is immutable inasmuch as even when this pot breaks, the clay remains intact. Similarly also, when the world is created, world is sustained, the world is dissolved. When all of this is taking place in the world which is the effect, the cause maya remains intact. In that sense, it is said, aksharaha, immutable. Akshara is a word also used for God. So kutastha and akshara, both are these words that are used also for Brahman. But we run out of words ultimately. What do we do with we run out of words. And therefore, word akshara is used in the Upanishad also in the sense of maya also. Aksharat paratas paraha, Mundaka Upanishad says. So akshara there means primordial cause. So kutastha aksharaha. In short, in this universe that is manifest, we find these two principles. There are many ways of describing the universe. One way of describing it, the universe is that which is of the nature of cause and effect. There is effect, and as we know, effect is this part which is changing, which is subject to change or mutation. Effect is always changing, mutating, and so ksharaha, and the cause remains changeless with reference to effect. Not that the clay is changeless, but with reference to effect it is. So also maya is not changeless, but with reference to effect, with this jagat, it can be called kutastha, immutable. So Lord Krishna says, these are my two expressions. This is what we call upadhi. Even at our individual level also. This upadhi consisting of the body, sense organs, mind, intellect, all of this is called ksharah purushaha, the mutable person. That is, that is also expression of Lord. What we call the mutable expression of Lord. And all these upadhis created from the primordial cause, which what we call the ignorance. That we will call the also immutable expression of Lord, ksharaha and aksharaha. So, that's all. These words, kshara and akshara, describe both the upadhi of the jiva as well as upadhi of Ishvara. So when you deny, dismiss them or negate them, both are negated at both the levels. Which means that when I give the identification my body, identification, all the bodies gets given up. I don't have to make a separate effort to give up the identification, the upadhi of God. When I give up identification my upadhi, identification of the whole universe also is given up. Because when I don't remember, when I forget my body, I forget all bodies. When I forget my mind, I forget all the minds. Is it not so? That is when I am sleeping, when I am fast asleep, when I am not aware of my body or my mind or my upadhi, I am not aware of any mind or any body. So these negations take place simultaneously. Therefore Lord Krishna describes what is to be negated, ksharaha and aksharaha, the cause and effect. Uttamah Purushastvanyah. Tu, however, Uttamah Purushah Anyah. Uttamah, supreme, means most exalted. Uttamah. Utkrishtatamaha, most exalted. Uttama, see in Sanskrit also we have comparative and superlative degrees, Tara and Tama. Like good, better, best. So you apply pratyaya in English to get the comparative degree and est pratyaya to get the superlative degree. Fine, finer, finest. In Sanskrit you apply Tara to get the comparative degree and Tama to get the superlative degree. So there is a word called Ut. Now you apply the Tara pratyaya becomes Uttara. Apply Tama pratyaya becomes Uttama. So Ut means above, more above, most exalted, Uttama. Uttama Purusha. Because that Ksharaha and Akshara, there also is a comparison that the cause is superior to the effect. See, Ksharaha Purusha can be called Ut Purusha. Ut. The Akshara Purusha, the effect can be called Uttara. And God is called, or Brahman is called Uttama. Ut, Uttara, Uttama. Three things are there: Ksharaha, Aksharaha, and Purushottama. Uttamah Purushastu Anyaha. Anyaha Atyanta Vilakshanaha. Here Arjuna understands that what is Uttama Purusha? The supreme person, the most exalted person, is one who is Anyaha, altogether different, Vilakshanaha, altogether different. This is what we call Jada. This is the changing. This is unreal. And he is what? He is Chetana. He is real. So superiority here is in terms of the degree of reality, not superiority in terms of the same, in the Vyavahara one thing is superior to the other. That's okay. But then they enjoy the same degree of reality. Here superiority is in terms of a higher degree of reality that both Kshara and Akshara, both of them are Mithya, whereas Purushottama is Satya. In that sense it is said to be the most exalted. Uttamah Purushastu Anyaha. Anya means Vilakshanaha, altogether a different category, altogether a different degree of reality. Paramatma iti udahrutaha. It is spoken of as Paramatma. Paramatma. That Purushottama, Uttamah Purusha or Purushottama, it's called Paramatma. Again, Parama also means limitless. Atma, because there are many Atmas. Or many things we call Atma today. Sometimes, when you ask me, so who are you? I say I am Swami so and so. When I say that, that is what? That means I am equating myself to the body. So that is also Atma. How are you doing this morning? Oh, I am not feeling too good. I am not in a good mood. That means what? I am equating myself with the mind. That is also Atma. How did you do? Oh, I did very well. Then I am equating myself with the intellect. And so many Atmas are there. Sometimes the body becomes Atma because I am identified with the body. Sometimes the sense organs also become Atma because sometimes I am identified with the self. I am blind, I am lame. When I say, that means I am equating myself with the organs of action or organs of perception. Happy, unhappy, when I say I am equating myself with the mind. Successful, unsuccessful, when I say I am equating myself with the intellect. So there are many things that are called Atma. That are Atma. Then it is subsequent, successively subtler and subtler. So sense organs are subtler than the body, the mind is subtler than the sense organs, the intellect is even subtler than the mind. So this is called Parama Atma. Parama Atma means one that is Atma as well as Parama. All these are Atma, all right, but not Parama. Parama means that which is most exalted. That which suffers from no limitation. So these are Atmas, all right, but each one suffering from a limitation of time, space and everything. So this is Parama Atma. Parama Atma means the most exalted self. Here Arjuna, the self of this cause and effect. The cause is there, effect is there because of cause, but the cause is because of what? The world is because of Maya, or the primordial cause. Maya is because of what? Brahmashraya Maya Asti. Even Maya also gets its existence, its awareness also from Brahman, which is the Adhishthanam. So that's called like the rope snake example. The snake is called the effect, and the snake is produced from what? From ignorance. Ignorance can be called the cause, and that which is substratum of cause and effect is the rope. So here also, the universe is the effect of Aksharah Purushaha, and that is emerged from Aksharaha, the Maya, and one that is substratum of both, Uttamah Purushaha, Anyaha. Anya means just as the rope enjoys the degree of reality, altogether different from snake. That's how we say rope is superior to snake. Snake can be negated, rope cannot be negated. And so also here, this Uttamah Purushaha, which is what we call Satya. Satya means Abhaditam, that which cannot be negated. So this we have to do. Here Lord Krishna is telling us the method of how to know Him, or how to know the self. The way to know the self is to be able to negate both the effect and the cause, the mutable and the immutable, and give up meaning, give up the identification, meaning appreciating oneself as the one that is witness of them both. That both cause and effect, Shara and Akshara, are there because of whom? Who is it that provides them the Satta and Spurti? That Asti, Bhati, Priyam, providing the Satta and Spurti, existence and intelligence. That is the witness, Asangaha, unconnected, untouched by them. That we sustain. The rope sustains the snake, but unconnected by snake. Understand that. Asaktam sarabhruchaiva. The rope becomes substratum of many ideas. Sometimes somebody calls it snake, somebody looks upon that as a garland, somebody thinks that's a stick. All these various creations are there from the rope. Rope is what? Unconnected. Supporting all of them and still unconnected to them. Similarly also this Purushottama, the self, supports everything. All kinds of false ideas also are supported. Itself is totally free from that. Paramatme tyudahruta yo lokatrayamavishya vibharti avyaya ishvaraha. Lokatrayamavishya, permeating or entering the three worlds. The one who enters the three worlds. That is cause and effect. The idea is that the world is, because Gama Vishyate Bhutani Dharayami Ahamojasa, Lord Krishna said, entering the universe, I sustain it by my power. So one Lord has entered the universe and sustains the whole universe. That's how Upanishad described, like having created these upadhis or names and forms, he enters. As though enters means, that means the one who obtains the very self, Yo Lokatrayamavishya, one who having entered these three worlds. That's how they look at the universe, three worlds. So the idea of the universe is this world is earth, the intermediate world is the space, the other world is the heavens, that is everything. All shining things are heavens, all the stars and all galaxies. So the one, I am the one that sustains, that provides them satta and the spurti. Bibharti, avyayaha, ishvaraha. I am myself immutable. They exist because of me, but Lord, you support the whole universe. Who supports you? Avyaha, I support myself. I am self-supporting, self-existing. Everything exists because of me, and I exist because of me, myself. I am that very existence. Ishvaraha, I am Ishvara. Ishvara means ruler. Ishvara is a word derived from the root ish, in the sense of ruling. Ishvara means a ruler. There are many rulers. What kind of ruler you are? The ruler also is a ruler, very often, Therefore he says, Avyayaha Ishvaraha, and the immutable ruler. I am the ruler of all the rulers, and there is nobody who rules me. If God created world, who created God? Nobody created him, the one who is ever self-existent. So that is how in these two verses Lord Krishna tells us how one can know the self by giving the identification with both the effect as well as cause. Even the cause also must go. That ignorance also must go. It is not only enough that I discover myself with just separate. It's not that I discover myself as different from body in terms of space, that I stand apart from the body. So I am witness of the body. Swami, I saw my body. I went away there, I was standing there, and I was witnessing the body. It's not that kind of witnessing we are talking about, because Atma cannot go any place. Well, Swami, but on one hand you say that there are two things, Atma and Anatma. That means you are talking of duality. No, we are not talking of duality. When you talk Atma and Anatma, not two different things in that sense. Atma is Satya, Anatma is Mithya. Separation between them is not in terms of space, understand? Separation between them is in terms of degree of reality. When we say Atma is different from Anatma, not that Atma stands in one place, Anatma stands in another place, not that way. Atma is Satyam, Anatma is Mithya. Atma ekaheva Satyam, tadanyat sarvam Mithyadi. Tattva. But anyway, so Yo lokatrayamavishya, entering the whole world, Bibharti, who sustains the whole world, and still who is one who is free from the whole world. That is the Uttama Purusha. We give the names which may not have a meaning with reference to that person, So very often Purushottama is the name which we commonly give. And when you look at that fellow, you see nothing in him, Purushottama is most exalted Purusha. Narottama is most exalted Nara, most exalted human being. Such names are there, but sometimes they are just what we call rudi, just names are given. Sudhakara, So one, that is the Akara. One, that is the mine of Sudha, mine of ambrosia. And you find that fellow very bitter. So idea is that sometimes the names are just given. So also Lord Krishna, when you declare yourself Purushottama, is that a name given to you by somebody? He says, no, I am the one who fills up that name, who is true to the meaning of that name. How? Let's see what's said in the 18th verse. Yasmat ksharamati toham akshārādapi chottamah atosmi loke vedecha prathitah purushottamah Yasmat, since Ksharam atitoham, since I am the one who is atitah. Atita means one who is above. That's what translated as one who transcends the kshara, the mutable. Aksharādabhija uttamaha, and I am above even the immutable. Since I am above both the mutable and immutable, effect and cause, kshara and akshara. The idea is that, see, the very interesting thing here, what Vedanta says, see, the search of science is in terms of the cause and effect. Every kind of investigation is in terms of the cause and effect. So we observe a certain event or a phenomenon, we want to know how or why, cause. So that is how the intellect always can, see, human intellect is that which functions in the realm of cause and effect. The whole science is based on the cause and effect. So who is the one? Now that's very important here. So what is the concept of the truth of a scientist? The one that is the cause of the whole universe. By knowing which we know everything, all right. The cause of the whole universe, material cause of the whole universe. Therefore a scientist is typically in the search of the most fundamental building block by which you can explain the whole universe. But this is where Vedanta parts ways with science. God is cause, all right. Even material cause, like every day Vedantic teachers keep on saying that God is not only the creator but He is the creation. He is not only the giver but He is the given. He is not only the maker but He is the material, all right. What kind of material He is? When we say that Brahman is the material cause of the universe, we must know there are two kinds of material causes. In material cause also there are two kinds. One is the clay is the material cause of this pot. Fine. Is Brahman material cause of the universe in a manner similar to the clay being the material cause of the pot? No. Here when I hold the pot in my hand, I am holding clay in my hand. But no, somewhat different. And that is where Vedanta and science are poles apart. Here at this point, up to this point everything is fine. Up to this point, that is a fundamental cause, whatever science says, Vedanta concurs and no problem. But when it comes to the fundamental cause, which is what we call Satyam or the truth, is it connected to this universe by what we call cause and effect relationship? Answer is no. That is where the example of the rope and snake comes in. The universe is in the place of the snake, and Brahman or God is in place of the rope. Yes, we can say that the snake is because of the rope, and therefore rope can be said to be the cause of the snake. Yes, had rope not been there, snake would not have been there. The length of the snake is the length of the rope, the curvature of the snake is curvature of rope, and so we can say the rope is the cause of the snake. And both the kinds of causes, even the material of the snake comes from the rope only, inasmuch as where the rope is, there the snake is, as long as the rope is, so long the snake is, as the curvature of, so the curvature of snake, so we can say that the rope is the material cause of the snake. So they say the rope provides the flesh and blood of the snake. However, very fundamental difference between the clay being material cause of this pot and rope being the material cause of the snake. The important difference is that the clay undergoes the change to become the pot. Clay, the material cause, becomes the pot. So ordinarily the cause becomes the effect, like clay becoming the pot. Whereas in our example, the rope does not become the snake. Rope retains its ropeness, does not become the snake, it appears as the snake. And therefore we say that the rope is beyond the cause and effect. The cause and effect is applicable up to the snake, but then we cannot go from snake to rope by a relationship of cause and effect. Now science doesn't work there, because science will work only when the cause-effect relationship is there. That is very fundamental rule of science. Vedanta, what does he do? He doesn't. How does he jump from the snake to the rope? Not by the cause and effect relation, by what we call negation. That is where the badha comes. Very important. Badha means what? Negation. Negating the false, and that is how we reach the real. So that is why Lord Krishna is Aksharada Vichottamaha. I am above even the cause also. I am not in the realm of cause and effect. This is important even in the process of knowing. When I want to know Brahman or the self, what my mind, only when my mind becomes free from the ideas of cause and effect, then alone it can know that. See, all of this is important. This is what we call the qualification. What we call the real emotional maturity must go all the way up to this point. Vairagya must go of negating the whole snake. That's called Vairagya. Vairagya is negating the false. That is when my mind becomes totally free from the idea of snake. Then I know the rope. In the rope there is not even a trace of the snake. And similarly also when my mind becomes totally free from the idea of cause and effect, that is when the self or Brahman can be known. So there is one step that is so different from science and Vedanta, and that step makes all the difference in as much as here, even though we say that Brahman is the cause of the creation, not in the manner in which a scientist would call it a cause, or a Niyayika would call it a cause, or a logician would call it a cause. That's why Vedantists have an expression called Vivarta Upadana Karanam. There are two Upadana Karanam, Parinami Upadana Karanam, the Upadana material cause that undergoes the change to become the effect, like the clay, and Vivarta Upadana Karanam. I don't have time, I have written all this, but Vivarta Upadana Karanam, meaning where the cause does not undergo change to become effect, cause appears as effect. Swaswarupa aparityagena, without giving up its own inherent nature. The rope remains a rope intact and appears as a snake. Brahman remains Brahman and appears as the whole process of cause and effect. So this is the whole, that's why we call it an appearance, projection. That's why the cause is said to be Maya. Yasmat, that is why we use the word transcendental. So the rope transcends the snake. What is meant by transcendental is that in the rope there is not even a trace of the snake. When the snake is completely negated, then alone the rope is known. So also, when the ideas of cause and effect are completely negated, then alone the self is known as totally free, because cause is not free from the effect. Cause is that which can become effect today or tomorrow, because the potential is there in the cause to become the effect. So this question people have, Swami, you say that Ishvara is Brahman with Maya, that means Brahman is stuck with Maya or what? No. Brahman is totally free from Maya. Maya is because of Brahman, but Brahman is not because of Maya. Atosmi lokas, the Lord Krishna says, I am Purushottama because I am Purusha and I am Uttama. Therefore Purushottama. Purushas chasa Uttama. That which is Purusha as well as Uttama. So the one who is person as well as the most exalted. Therefore now Lord Krishna in many places in the Gītā declares himself to be God. This is one of those declarations. Purusha atosmi loke asmi, I am atosmi loke vedecha prasiddha purushottama. Therefore, hey Arjuna, therefore, loke in the world, Veda in the scriptures also, I am described as Purushottama by those who know me. Like Kalidasa, he came later on. The Lord Krishna doesn't even do Kalidasa anyway, but then Hariryasaikaha Purushottama smutaha, Kalidasa says. Hariryasaikaha Purushottama smutaha. Harihi, Lord Narayana, is known as Purushottama. So whenever we use the word Purushottama, it generally applies to Narayana. When we use the word Maheshwara, it applies to Lord Shiva. And so this is how in these three verses Lord Krishna described what we may call his transcendental nature. The transcendental meditation supposedly aims at this knowledge, If you know self, then of course it is called, but then a meditation process, by process of meditation one cannot know. It is by process of seeing that one knows. Meditation can become an aid to acquire a mind which becomes a seeing mind. And now, concluding this chapter, Lord Krishna, what is if you gain this knowledge, what is the phalam, what's the result? That is said in the verse 19 and 20 as both. Yo mamevam sammudhaha, yo mamevam sammudhaha, janati purushottamam, janati purushottamam, sasarvavid bhajati mam, sasarvavid bhajati mam, sarvabhavena bharata, sarvabhavena bharata. Yo mam evam asammurasan purushottamam janati. Yeah, whoever it is. See, there is no qualification of who can know me. Yaha. Yaha is a universal pronoun. Whoever it is. Whether it is man or a woman, whether Brahmana or Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, past, present, future, whatever it is. Yaha. Evam janati, the one who knows me in this manner, in the manner that was just described as Purushottama, the one that transcends both the Kshara and the Akshara, one that is the self of all, one that is substratum of all. In that manner, evam janati asammudaha, the one who is free from all sammoha, free from delusion, free from ignorance. That is saha. So what happens to this person? Sahas sarvavit, second line says. Sarvavit, sarvam veti, sarvavit. One who knows everything is called sarvavit. One is omniscient. This person becomes omniscient. The enlightened person becomes omniscient. Hey, the omniscience of enlightened person is different from omniscience of God. When we say God is omniscient, He knows everything. In all the periods of time, He would know how many atoms there are, and how many molecules there are, and how many scent particles there are, and everything He knows. Wise man also is called omniscient, but not in that sense. He knows the essence of everything. Yatha ekena mrutpindena saram mrunmayam vijñātam syāt. Just as by knowing one particle of clay, everything made of clay is known, in that sense the wise man knows everything. He knows Purushottama is the clay of which the whole universe is made. That means he recognizes Purushottama, he recognizes Paramatma everywhere. He knows everything. How does he know that? As Paramatma. He need not know the details. How many names and forms are there? Doesn't need not know. How many atoms are there? Need not know. He knows every atom is Paramatma. He knows every name and form is Paramatma. His own self. Sasarvavit, he becomes omniscient. So that's why again and again we come to this pratigna or proposition. Yad jnatva neha bhoyo nyat jnatavyam avasishyate, knowing which nothing remains to be known. Sahasarvavit, the enlightened person becomes omniscient, all-knowing, meaning knowing all that is essential to know, all that counts in our life. Bhajati mam, and he really worships me. He is a real devotee. The real, most real devotee is he alone. Yes, others are also devotee. But when does the real devotion become real? When does love become real? When there is no duality between the devotee and the one who is devoted, between devotee and God, when no distance remains. Isn't that the ultimate purpose of love, or ultimate goal of the love, that between the two who love each other, no distance remains at all? Even though physical distance may be there, but no distance remains in the mind. So love is that which erases all the distance. But ultimately it is knowledge that erases all the distance. That is why knowledge and love are equal, understand. We know that love erases distances or differences, then knowledge also erases differences. Therefore, how can knowledge, which is devotion, and love, which is devotion, and knowledge can be different? That is why jnanasya parakashta bhakti sa bhakti uchyate. What is the parakashta? The culmination of knowledge is called bhakti. Bhakti stuya parakashta tad jnanamiti kirtidam, and that which is the ultimate in bhakti, the culmination of bhakti, is called knowledge. So in the chapter of knowledge, Lord Krishna uses bhakti a number of times. Saha sarvet bhajati mam. Now he really worships me. Sarva bhavena bhav, with his whole being. I worship the Lord today, all right, not with my whole being, with a part of myself. I cannot give him everything. Lord wants everything. Well, I can give to Lord, I make offering, all right. A few things I do. Whatever extra, I give him. Whatever I can afford, I can give him. But I still have to keep a few things with me, which I require for my security and my well-being. If nothing else, at least I keep my ego with myself. But here is a person who is offered everything. Like Mahabali. Not only offered what he had, he offered his own self. So ordinary devotees offer to the Lord everything that they have. Here is a devotee who offers his own self. Medham prajnam prayacha swaha. Swaha is the offering. So sarva bhavena bharata, he worships me with his whole being, with no reservation at all. Meaning unconditionally he worships me. Understand that there is one thing that I love unconditionally, and that is myself. I love others also, but with conditions. As long as they satisfy my condition, so long they can be object of my love. As long as they are agreeable to me, and so long it's fine. When they cease to be that, I will think about it. Let us talk about our relationship, as Swamiji says, then we have to talk about it. But there is one that I love unconditionally, and that is what? Myself. However I am, I never dislike, I never abuse, never hate myself. Oh Swami, I hate myself. But that is the body that you hate. I hate myself. The mind I may hate. Never that self which is Satchidananda, I never hate. So a love affair is going on between myself and myself, and unconditional love is only for myself. And Lord Krishna says, here is a devotee who loves me unconditionally because he recognizes everything as his self, he recognizes God as his own self, therefore his love becomes unconditional. That's called sarva bhavena, with his whole being, unconditionally he loves me. And so understand, very often people feel that Vedanta doesn't talk of love, but it does. Because Vedanta says love is not something that you have to do, love is something that becomes evident when all you have to do is to just remove the obstacles to love. Love being our own nature, we don't have to produce it. It's already there. All we need to do is to remove obstacles, and obstacles are again produced from ignorance. So therefore, as ignorance gets removed, even the obstacle to love also gets removed. Therefore, you always find people who are wise, people are always loving people also, automatically. Because self is not only ananda, self is not only consciousness or chit, it is also ananda or love. And it is said now, this is called moksha. Sahas sarvavit, he is all knowing. Mam bhajate, he worships me with his whole being. That is called moksha. And now, concluding all the teaching of this chapter, Lord Krishna praises that teaching and concludes in the 20th verse. Iti guhyatamam shastram idamuktam maya nagha etat buddhva buddhiman syad kritakrutyascha bharata iti, in this manner, guhyatamam shastram idamuktam maya he anagha. Lord Krishna was so pleased with Arjuna. Again and again he addressed him as Anagha, O sinless one. How pure he must be, Arjuna's name itself says that. Arjuna, Rujitvad Arjuna. Ruju means one who is straightforward. Arjuna. There is a tree called Arjuna which is straight, with no knots in there, no knots and no twists and nothing. Straight. Arjuna. Very straight. No knots, no angularities. Hey Anagha, showing, meaning thereby that is how one must become in order to gain the knowledge. So they always tell us that we must become Arjuna really to gain this knowledge. Lord Krishna is always talking. If we become Arjuna, then we can hear him. But here, He Anagha, O sinless one, iti, thus in this manner, Kushyatamam Shastram, the most sacred scripture, the most secret scripture, Maya Uktam, has been uttered by me. Here Arjuna, O sinless one, in this manner, in last 19 verses, the most secret and the scripture has been uttered by me. Don't think that what you understand, the value of what you gain. Here Arjuna, understand that what you gain in these 19 verses is most precious. It is the greatest secret, the secret of all the scriptures. It's called Shastram. In fact, Lord Krishna praises this very chapter of the Shastra. Shastra is that which is complete. And that is called Shastra, which gives us everything that we need to know for our spiritual progress. Shastra must describe also the sadhana chatushtaya sampatti, must also describe guru upasadanam, must also describe shravana, manana, and it must describe the tattvamasi, mahavakya. Everything came here. In the first verses, Lord Krishna described the tree of samsara, thereby viveka and vairagya were described. Nirmana moha, jita sanga doshaha, all the qualifications, adhikaritva was described. And then, natad bhasayade surya, the nature of truth is described, and then it was unfolded, tattvamasi mahavakya was unfolded, and therefore, in this short chapter, whatever is there in the whole scripture, all of that has been packed. Kushyatamam shastram. So, in fact, Bhagavad Gītā is a Shastra. Whole Bhagavad Gītā can be called Shastra because it has all the elements that we need to know. But Lord Krishna praises even this chapter as Shastra, as a scripture. Not only tells us the essence of Bhagavad Gītā, but Bhagavad Gītā is the essence of all the Vedas. So therefore, in this chapter, the Veda Sara, the essence of all the Vedas also has been uttered by me here, Arjuna. Etad buddha, knowing this, understanding or knowing what I have said, buddhiman syat, one becomes buddhiman, one becomes intelligent in a real sense. Buddhiman, buddhiyasya asti buddhi, one who possesses buddhi is called buddhiman. Like dhanavan, one who possesses wealth is called dhanavan. But dhanavan is not who possesses just wealth, who possesses wealth abundantly is called dhanavan. Not that $5 he has in his pocket, so it's called dhanavan. He is not called a wealthy person. The one who possesses wealth in an abundant measure, that van, that pratyaya is called matu pratyaya. That matu pratyaya is applied always in the sense of abundance. So when something is possessed in abundance, so dhanavan, so one who possesses dhanam in abundance. So buddhiman, one who possesses buddhi in abundance. Everybody possesses buddhi, but usually buddhi or the intellect is utilized in knowing the worldly things. The one who knows this, he has really utilized his buddhi. He is really buddhiman, he is really possessed of the intellect and primary sense. That means he is a wise person. Kruta krutyasya bharata, kruta krutya, so krutam krutyam yena saha kruta krutya. Krutam means that which is done. Krutyam is that which is to be done. Krutyam, krutam, that which is to be done has been done by whom? That means whatever is to be done in life has been done by this person. By gaining this knowledge, he has done whatever needs to be done. By gaining the knowledge, he has known whatever needs to be known. By gaining this knowledge, he has done whatever needs to be done. He has accomplished whatever needs to be accomplished. And thus, this is how a wise person feels. How do I feel when something is done? Even when I have a list of all the tasks that I do today, and by evening when I have done everything, with great satisfaction and great sense of contentment, I view everything. I have done everything that needs to be done. I feel myself totally relaxed and totally free. But that lasts for a few minutes, I guess, and something else comes up to be done. Then I remember, oh, wait a minute, that telephone call remains. Oh, that letter I have to write. Oh, that I have to do. Here this person says, whatever is to be done in life is done. That means a total sense of contentment with oneself, a total sense of contentment with everything, a total sense of fulfillment. And therefore, he is the one who is wise in the real sense, and he is the one who is fulfilled in the real sense. He is mukta, he is jivan mukta, he is liberated while living. Bharata. And of course, a lot of it said here, this is what everybody says. Manusmriti also says that, and it's called Bharata. Lord Krishna addresses Arjuna as Bharata. Earlier also has been addressed as Bharata. Bharata. Well, Bharata is the one who comes from the dynasty of Bharata. But Bharata, Bhayam Brahma Vidyayam Rataha Bharataha. Bharati, Bharati means Saraswati. So one who is Rata, Rata means what? One who is reveling. So one who revels in Bha. Bha here means the knowledge, the Vidya. So one who revels in Vidya is called Bharata. He Bharata, not only that, anybody becomes Kritakritya or fulfilled, Arjuna understand, you are also Kritakritya. Yata hetat Paramartha Tattvam Matta Shrutavaniti. Since here Arjuna, you listen to this Paramartha Tattva, this most exalted truth from me, therefore you are also Kritakritya. And that's how Lord Krishna concludes this scripture by even saying to Arjuna, assuring him that you are Kritakritya, you are already fulfilled one, because you listen to this truth from me, and you cannot but know it having listened to it from me. Thus, this 15th chapter is concluded here. Let us read the Sankalpa Vakya, last one. Om Tat Sad. Om Tat Sad. It is Śrīmad Bhagavad Gītāsu. It is Śrīmad Bhagavad Gītāsu. Upanishadsu. Brahma Vidyaya. Yoga Shastre. Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvade. Purushottama Yogo Nama. Panchadashodhyaya. Thus the Panchadashodhyaya, 15th chapter, Purushottama Yogo Nama, the chapter whose subject matter is Purushottama. That is why also this chapter is chanted by all, not only by Advaita Vedanta, but all of them. Even those who are the Bhakti Acharya, all of them look upon this chapter as the most exalted chapter because he is unfolded Purushottama. Lord himself is unfolded here by himself. So that is why also this chapter is chanted often because it is a very sanctifying, very purifying thing. Whole Bhagavad Gītā is, but of that this chapter is particularly selected by other acharyas also. This is also one of the reasons why we chant it before the meals, because it is customary to chant prayers before the meals and therefore it also becomes prayer. Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvade, in the Samvada, in this dialogue between Shri Krishna and Arjuna, Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastra, which dialogue has these two subject matters, Brahma Vidya and Yoga Shastra, Śrīmad Bhagavad Gītāsu, Upanishadsu. In these divine song of Lord Krishna, which is nothing but Upanishad. So, many Upanishads are already involved here, or this is equivalent to many Upanishads. They say every chapter of Gita is like an Upanishad. Somebody says every verse is like an Upanishad. People are so greatly inspired and so fascinated by Bhagavad Gita that some people say every verse is like an Upanishad. Anyway, Upanishad, so in this Upanishad, in the form of Bhagavad Gita, this 15th chapter is concluded. Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja aham tva sarva papebhyah mokshayishyami ma shuchah. Harihi Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah. Ishvara Gururatmedi Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.